Na 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 na. Hey, hey, hey. Goodbye. Goodbye, Brooklyn Nets. So long.
Toxic but funny.
Oh. Today is a good day, Davian. Today, well, technically last night, but today for us. Today was the day that the Brooklyn Nets were eliminated from the championship in 7 games to the Milwaukee
7
Bucks.
tough games, yeah.
7 tough-ass games. 7 weird games. It was a tough series, a great series.
I love this series.
It was what I hoped the Miami one would have been with Bucks. But, you know what? Did I say last week that the Bucks were my favorite? I don't know if I did say that.
I think you did.
We're gonna have to go back. We're gonna have to go back.
We'll have to VAR at some point. It's
VAR.
But yeah, it's a great series. I mean, it's definitely been the best. Well, actually, I mean, Hawks Philly is decent, but for big performances, this has been the best series.
For big performances, it was great. I mean, you had what KD's. There was KD's 47, 15, and 10, right?
That was
it 47?
Game 5.
Yeah, that was game 5.
And then yesterday he played all of the minutes, scored 48, and almost won the whole series.
Yes, he almost
did. That was so close.
Did you see his overtime statistics though?
Like no points.
0 from 4.
I'm not gonna lie.
I'm not saying it. I'm not saying it. But if that was LeBron, you know
how
many people would be eating him up for that.
So I wrote a tweet out. I did delete it afterwards because it was like 4:30 this morning, and I did say, look, I feel like I was like, look, we're giving KD the credit, but had that been LeBron who went 0 for 4 in the overtime, then we would have been calling him a choke artist. We'd have said he threw it. We'd have said this affects his legacy, which is actually the title. That's why the title of this episode is Nets Are Out. But did KD do anything? I was like, did his performances actually, how they affect his legacy? Because to me, it's
no. Well, I mean, they do in the case of KD's amazing.
I think so. The thing is, yes, he did score no points, but the only reason I'm going to give him a pass is my man played.
The only reason they got there in the first place is because of him.
Since Kyrie got hurt, I think he's taken a couple minutes off. He's been playing full 45 to 50 minutes. Like
yesterday,
he played 53 minutes.
He played the full 48 in game 5. He played like 40 something in game 6, and then played 53 in game 7. Like the man was literally playing as much as he probably could.
And also, one of the big reasons why I'm not gonna, I do want to slander, and obviously I do, but one of the reasons I won't.
I have my slander set for someone else in a different series.
So there is. But one of the reasons why I'm not going to get so hard on KD and his overtime performance is because of the way that they played that game 7. James Harden left him in a point where James Harden, because I was watching the game and obviously I couldn't sleep, and I was like, you know what? Yes. So I fell asleep a little early. I was watching some UFC, fell asleep again, woke up. We're in about the second quarter. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna watch this game. I was like, you know what? We podcast. Let me watch this game. James Harden he's now come out and said he had a grade 2 hamstring injury, but he was dribbling at the logo and then passing that ball to KD with like 6 seconds on the shot clock, while they could just double him because Harden wasn't going anywhere. There was no mobility with him, so he was just every play. So I was like, no wonder when he got to the overtime and KD was visibly tired. As one of the last plays, the one that KD airballed, KD's dribbling, he has it. He throws the ball to James Harden, like, yo, James, please take this position.
And then he realizes.
Oh wait, this is almost the end of the game. Now you have that back, fam. I was like, wait. Huh?
It was like KD realized, shit, I really have to do it all again.
I was like, it was the way he gave it and then got it back. I was like, that's tough.
Okay, right. If I'm Steve Nash, and I know James Harden has a grade 2 sprain,
yeah,
either like him playing has clearly not worked out.
Yeah.
If he continues playing, and gets worse, it's not going to help if we get through.
Nope.
So why the fuck is he in the game?
Chris, I said this to you. Was it? I think it was after Game 6. I was after Game 6 because obviously Kyrie went down Game 4. Was it Game 4? It was Game 3 or 4.
It was 4.
So 4, and then James Harden made that decision that he was going to come and obviously play the games. And we watched Game 5, and obviously that's when you said to me you felt like Harden was going to have a monster night, and then Game 6 would be like, oh, certain. And obviously that's the night that KD
he kept on going. Oh, and every...
yeah. So that's the day when KD had his big performance, the first one, and then I watched Game 6, and I was like, I don't see why James Harden is playing, because he was making the defense worse and making the offense worse. I was like, surely, if you built one of the things about building the roster, surely is the fact that in these games, if I've got KD going off, surely there are other players on that squad who can facilitate it better and at least fill a role. Harden was doing nothing. I mean, I think he got 22 yesterday.
20, maybe. I'm just gonna take a look at the game score. James Harden. Fucking hell! No, that's a different thing apparently. Okay, right, where are we? Advanced stats. Okay.
Yeah, he got 22.
In terms of game score, he was at 8.8, which is very poor, very very poor indeed. Not very good. Kyrie was 15. Okay. Yeah, when he was playing, they weren't really playing very well.
No, I mean he almost got triple double yesterday.
To play him. Yeah.
So, in terms of pure stats, it was okay, but he made everything so much easier for Milwaukee. Like at that point,
right? Yes. Yeah. Go on, carry on.
I was just gonna say at that point, like I was there saying, just please. So it was near the end of the fourth. I was like, there's no way you leave Harden in. They were up by 5 with like 3 minutes to go, and I was like, that's the time you take him out. You take Harden out now. Maybe bring him back with maybe bring him out if you want to do a catch and shoot.
If you're down, if you're maybe down for a bit.
Yeah, I thought the last play, like okay, maybe bring him on, and but Harden isn't for me. Harden isn't really. He's not like Clay where I'd be like, okay, catch and shoot. Even without his leg, I know he can do something. So I was like, okay.
I'd trust Kyrie before I did.
Exactly. So I was like, okay, cool. And I watched. I was going. I think this is one of the. It was at that moment I was like, yeah, this isn't going to go well. And then, I saw a lot of slander for the Nets, and it made me happy. But who was it? Was it Joe Harris? Oh my God,
Joe Harris causing slander.
Yeah.
Oh, he didn't shoot very well yesterday either, did he?
Oh, he decided he was going to take clutch shots.
No, it was what's it? The Brown guy, Moses Brown, Bobby Brown. I don't fucking.
Bobby Brown.
Bobby Brown. I don't fucking know what this guy's name is.
Bruce Brown.
Bruce Brown, thinking he's fucking Terrence Mann, right? Thinking he can just waltz right in the game and start taking clutch shots and winning games. Not gonna happen, sir.
Okay, but so what happened with Joe Harris is I can't remember, he had a wide open 3 and he just Danny Green that bitch.
Wait, am I right? Like, I think I'm right in saying that in the overtime there was just 6 points scored. I think it was 4.
Overtime was 6-2.
Okay, yeah. Wow.
Yeah,
right.
It was very.
Okay, it wasn't 4 and 2, but Jesus. Okay, it was even worse than I thought then. Actually,
I mean, for them,
the only actual buckets were from Chris Middleton, which was a mid-range jumper, and Giannis bullying KD, which is another thing as well. Is you don't have KD marking Giannis. You do the other way around, Mike Budenholzer, by the way.
They've never
the other way around.
I was looking at the stats for that. KD throughout the whole series barely guarded Giannis, but in that key moment, they've got him guarding Giannis, and I'm like, who thought that was the good? Okay, I was like, who? Because so yeah,
Giannis has like 40 pounds on him
oh god, it was
of muscle, pure muscle.
The Joe Harris brick was fucking hilarious. It genuinely reminded me of Danny Green last year when obviously he missed that wide open top of the key. Because the thing is, what made me laugh is Nets fans who I mean I'd never really seen that many of them until this year, but they were like, oh, it's all his fault. And I was like, but is it really? Like,
No,
he had a bad night, but I just
in all fairness, right. The thing is, I'm surprised the Bucks didn't put this away in 6. Because they should have put this away in 6. They made this a series because Mike Budenholzer for some goddamn reason decided only just the last couple of games to put Giannis on KD.
And Giannis still barely guarded KD. Like
exactly. And it's like
I think a lot of people were questioning. So obviously that last possession in regular
most of the time it was PJ Tucker or just Drew Holiday. Most of the time.
I know the height difference between Tucker and KD was very apparent.
I know, and don't get me wrong, PJ Tucker is one of the best defenders in the league at defending a guy a lot taller than him, right?
Yeah.
But it's KD.
I was going to say, right? Most people aren't KD.
You put a former defensive player of the year on that man.
Yep, from an MVP.
Was he your former MVP? I am slandering anyone 6'10" and above. Rudy Gobert, his name is in the dust as well. Who else? Ben Simmons. He's getting it.
Get them the fuck. Actually, you know what? I'm on this. Yes, 6'10" or above. Honestly. I'm gonna leave Joel because he's injured. So
Joel's fine. Who else is? Nikola Jokic is fine, but Rudy Gobert specifically and Ben Simmons specifically, I am going to slander them this podcast because they deserve it. Giannis is good.
That last possession, I could not believe they didn't have Giannis on KD. I was like, "Are you guarding the?" I was like, "Is Giannis guarding the inbound?" I was like, you know where this ball is going? It's going to KD. He's going to shoot a 3. I saw PJ Tucker on him. I'm not gonna lie. PJ Tucker played the best defense you could ask for. But there's a height difference, and it's KD.
6'6" on a 7 foot.
I was gonna say there's a height difference, and it's KD. So even basically, he stopped him getting an easy, run, and obviously the shot was difficult. But this is KD. I was expecting Giannis to be on him. I was like, "I've got this." Honestly, had KD not just stepped on the line, the Bucks go home, and that would have been one of the most embarrassing things for them. Like they should have put this away
after the Nets losing both Kyrie and Harden to injuries. Which, by the way, injuries to All Stars a huge thing in this playoffs. Shocker. I think we called it, really.
No, Chris, we called this.
This beginning of
at the start of the season.
No.
You called this when they announced the season, and we've been speaking all season about how obviously the lower you've got the shorter obviously, gap between seasons, obviously. And we spoke about all season about how the defense wasn't the same because people were like, trying to take games off. Everyone was trying to kind of coast through this season to get to this postseason. But obviously now is when the games are where you can't take that time off. And obviously we've seen how it goes. You're looking at LeBron went down near the end of the season, or near middle, was out, tried to come back for the playoffs. What? Didn't look the same. AD got hurt mid-season and then in the playoffs. You combine that with all the COVID things. We've got everyone's out. Jamal Murray.
I think it's 9 All-Stars. The NBA All-Stars. What is it? NBA All-Stars set a record for missed games. Yeah. So you had Kawhi Leonard go down,
which thankfully isn't a fucking ACL tear.
Which isn't. Yes, he misses games 1 and 2 but
not traveling with the squad. But he's
not traveling with the squad. Anthony Davis, who went down.
Yeah.
You've had James Harden, who went down. We've just talked about. We've had Kyrie Irving go down, who we just talked about.
Yeah.
We've had Joel Embiid, who's playing injured. We've got Donovan Mitchell, who played through injured. We've got Mike Connolly, who came back for Game 7.
Yeah.
Yep. Jaylen Brown, who played injured.
Jaylen Brown didn't play.
Oh, sorry. Jaylen Brown, who was injured.
Jaylen Brown was out for this. He missed the whole net. He missed the whole net series.
With the whole series.
Yeah.
A record amount of games.
I think everyone, I'll be honest.
9 All-Stars.
So, yeah, I think it's one of them where you're looking at this season and you're going, okay, you had to do it. And obviously, a lot of people, LeBron, obviously, a lot of other people was complaining from the start that obviously this is too much and too soon. But it's got to the point where this playoffs is like, just who is there? Like, who? It's not going to be the best team who wins this. It will just be the team who could actually survive through this thing. Now Kawhi's gone down. Kawhi's out for the Clippers. They don't know how long he could be out, which kind of ruins that. I think CP3 is out with COVID protocols.
With the COVID protocols, yeah.
So then
it's still he's definitely caught COVID, right?
He tested positive for it, but
okay.
I think he's not showing symptoms. He's asymptomatic. So,
which is good for the Suns if he's gonna come.
Yeah,
back.
so he's from what I've read, he's asymptomatic, and he's just waiting to clear the protocol before he can come back. He's not going to be for game 1, might be back for game 2 or 3, depending on.
This is good. This is good news if you're the Suns.
For the Suns, you need him.
Who managed to sweep their opponent, who was a Western Conference finalist last year, the Denver Nuggets. Which, oh my god, wow.
Yep.
The Suns just turned it on. They couldn't stop them. There was nothing they could do.
Yep. I mean, this year's
Mike Malone was just like, they were just better.
Yeah. They played well.
I mean, when they've had Jamal Murray, who's injured again.
Yeah.
Injured. But that being said, losing just Jamal Murray isn't enough.
They had enough that they should have been more competitive. Obviously, they made trades. They picked up, obviously, players that should have made them more competitive.
I don't know.
But they were just outclassed by a young, healthy.
They were really outclassed by a young and healthy Phoenix Suns team, which is a key to this playoffs. Because, I mean, who we got left? We've got a hobbling Clippers.
We've got Phoenix, who've got Chris Paul to come back. We've got Clippers, who have got Kawhi out for the first 2 games.
Yeah, we got
Milwaukee,
who are fully fit.
Milwaukee who are fully fit. You've got Philly, who have got Joel Embiid.
Or Atlanta.
You've got Philly left, still left. You've got Philly left currently with who've got Joel Embiid with a bad. Well, I think it's either a sprained or like a low grade tear meniscus that he's still able to play on, but obviously he's not operating as he normally is. And then you've got Atlanta, who are healthy, as far as I'm aware.
Yeah, well, there you go. My bet is Atlanta and the Suns going through. That's my bet. Atlanta and Suns final.
I think Bucks will win.
Oh wait, no, sorry. Atlanta through to that one. Bucks will beat them as long as they stay fully healthy.
Yeah, I think Bucks versus Phoenix is unlikely. It depends on for the Clippers. It depends on when. If Kawhi can come back for the series, maybe. I just don't.
No, I don't even.
For me, but for me, so I was saying the reason I'm saying, but I said if Kawhi comes back, I don't think they're gonna win it, but at least they'd have more of a chance. I think the problem is they beat through. Who did they just beat?
Jazz.
The Jazz.
They shouldn't have. This is right. Let's move on to this. Let's move on to this now.
Oh, you're pissed. You're pissed. Go slander him, Chris.
Let's move on to this now. There is no reason why the Utah Jazz should not have beaten the Clippers after Kawhi went out. They let Terrence Mann drop 39 on them.
You know what's funny? So you sent me
a message. Do you know how? Because Rudy Gobert, 3-time Defensive Player of the Year, reigning Defensive Player of the Year, just let him score. So he dropped back and just let them shoot the mid-range. And then you'd be like, oh, it's fine because he'll attack. Oh, he's fine because the inside presence and stuff. When Reggie Jackson got the ball, he just making layups like Rudy Gobert wasn't even there. And so was Terrence Mann.
Yeah. Deep Defense Player of the Year, though.
DPOY.
The thing is, and there's so much more.
As in DPO, why did you get that award?
there's so much more that can be said about obviously the Rudy Gobert thing. But for me, you sent me that message that said, "Mum, and there goes that man." And you know that I read that for about 8 hours and didn't clock because I didn't look at the result.
Mama, there goes that man.
I was obviously very drunk and was like, you know what? Fell asleep before the game happened. Woke up, looked at the result, and was like, oh, Clippers won. I was like, cool. They were like, Paul George played well. I was like, you know what? Cool. And then I checked the box score and went, oh. Then I watched the highlights and realized that for a team that Utah were great defensively in the regular season, I did not expect Rudy Gobert to turn into just go and have the shot. Go on, just like I get letting someone else beat you, but
go on,
come on now.
Take it.
And like
he's literally asking him. Hold on 1 second. I want to look at this. Last game, right? Game 6, by the way. They lost in 6 games.
Oh yeah,
two
because they lost
without their star player.
Why they up so much by half time?
And you don't. No one can give me the fact that Donovan Mitchell was playing injured. They didn't have Kawhi. They didn't have Kawhi. Yeah. You were 2 games up, and they didn't have Kawhi for the last 2 of these 4 games that you lost in a row. Right. I need to look at Rudy Gobert's box plus minus because he was negative 24. Negative 24 compared to all the other starters, negative 6, negative 9, negative 3, negative 8. The next worst guy is Joe Ingles, who only played 17 minutes at minus 18. It was insane. But Rudy Gobert was literally just letting everyone score on him. It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
I think the thing is for me, that's what always interests me. Because Rudy Gobert is someone who literally takes pride in being that defensive juggernaut. Like regular season games, you see him laughing about, because obviously there are sometimes guys that don't want to go towards him. And he's very, like you look at that guy, he's very, defense first and very like, look, I'm the best at this. So in these moments, this is where you expect him to step up, and you expect to be like, okay, Utah actually beat the Clippers. Why? Because Rudy Gobert was so good defensively. They shut these men down and limited them, and they couldn't get into the. But like they just like after this, you can't really run around screaming about how great you are defensively.
He should be exempt from any DPOY candidacy ever.
Yeah, there should be a suspension. There should be They should carry over to his next record.
They should take the awards from him.
They should carry on over to his next year record. So in the next year when he comes with his, I had this many blocks a game, we can say, do you remember what Terrence Mann did to you, man? And then for that, it should never be allowed. Or we should be able to file for that, because I don't think after letting that happen to you, like you're meant to be an elite player. This isn't someone who's like, this isn't like a JaVale McGee where you say, okay, look, they're good defensively and they'll help your team out. You're meant to be a star. You're meant to be an all-star. Like, you're meant to be, top players in the world, and you're letting Terrence. But I know the news Clippers are through to their first conference finals.
Yeah, well done for them in the weirdest possible way ever.
Their celebrations were hilarious.
Being 3-1 up last year, having arguably a more talented squad last year.
Yeah.
They made it Ty Lue. It's the Doc Rivers effect. And meanwhile, Doc Rivers on the flip side.
Doc Rivers on the flip side is...
Do you remember when people thought Doc Rivers was right to leave? And like, it wasn't Doc. It's just a cursed organization.
I mean... It's like Utah more cursed at this point. Fucking hell, man. This is why KD and LeBron didn't pick any of them when it came to the
I wouldn't. Donovan Mitchell, maybe. Rudy Gobert, no.
And actually,
why was he in an All-Star game? Terrence Mann wasn't in that game. I guess it was all right.
But yeah, so today we've got obviously the Game 7, Philly versus Atlanta, which has been
yes,
one of the weirdest series, if I'm honest. Atlanta won the first game, Philly tied it up, then won the second, Then the Hawks won and made 2-2. Then they went 3-2 up, and then Game 6. You know what? To be fair, I don't know why I didn't expect this. It's the playoffs. I should have expected Curry to go off. Like, why wouldn't I expect?
Well, I mean, Curry has to go off because Ben Simmons can't do shit.
I know, but I'm just.
He can't
surprised.
do anything. He's.
I've ignored him. I've ignored him. I'm tired of him. He literally said, "What did he say?"
He's shooting like 34% from the line.
Oh, he shouldn't. Yeah, no. And he said they're hacking him. He was like, "Oh yeah, don't worry."
Right. No. I have a problem. I have a problem with this. Right. Do not compare this to Hacker Shack because
I'm not.
Shack. Okay. Yes. Well, no. I'll tell you this. Hacker Shack. Right. So back in the 90s, when Shaquille O'Neal was taking like 20 to 30 shots a game, he made 72% of his shots because they were from the inside, right? Yeah. And because it was such a low-scoring affair as well back in those days, it was pretty much he was scoring like 1.6. He was scoring over a point per possession.
Yeah.
So to limit him, keyword here, limit him. They decided to throw him on the line, which he was a career 50%, by the way, still more than Ben Simmons in this series. A career 50% free-throw shooter. So he'd go from maybe 1.6 to maybe 1.7 or 1.6 to 1 point per game possession, which, by the way, was still slightly higher than the average.
Yeah.
So it was damage limitation.
Yeah.
It was still in the favor of Lakers. It was just damage limitation. It's like, if he's going to do it, we're going to make him work for it.
Yeah.
What's happening to Ben Simmons? He's literally a negative. He's literally a negative. In the half court, there's no point. He's good on the fast break. He's a great playmaker. Great, awesome, cool. Yes. But great playmakers are really good playmakers if they're more aggressive. This is the problem with Ben Simmons. He is not aggressive enough because, okay, yes, he can't shoot. Everyone knows that. Yeah, we can talk about that. But the players that can't shoot make up for that by being aggressive and attacking the rim. Ben Simmons doesn't even do that. They have 6'5" Bogdan Bogdanovic guarding 6'10" Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons should be eating him for breakfast.
You'd think,
but he's not. He's taking like 8 shots a game. Playmake from there. In the half-court settings, Ben Simmons is just done.
And
he only played 25 minutes last night because he was in foul trouble. And did Philadelphia won by?
Yep. By Seth Curry 6 threes and 24 points.
Exactly.
Tobias Harris 24, Seth Curry 24 with 6 threes.
Just
and
insane.
Even Maxey came on to get 16 points.
I want to take a look at the Game 6 game that Atlanta won by 3 points. I want to see Philadelphia. Ben Simmons was a +7. Okay. That's fine, I guess. What about last box +1? He's maybe an equal because he's still a great defender, but he's basically Lonzo Ball without a jump shot.
I was going to say, so the thing for me is, you just looked at his stats and went, that's fine, I guess. I never want to, in this situation, this is one of Philly's best chance to win the championship. If Ben Simmons is meant to be your franchise player, I don't want to hear it's he is. How tall is Ben Simmons?
6'10", 11.
10. He's near 7 foot. He's an elite. We know he can pass. We know he's a good defender. But come on, it's the simple things. And obviously the reason. One of the jokes that people have been saying is that obviously Ben Simmons himself said, "Don't worry, Hacker Ben." 6'11". So he said Hacker Ben won't last long. And this is an old clip. And obviously he was like, oh yeah, Hacker Ben won't last long. Those 3 percentages are disgraceful. The way he's playing, he's not aggressive. Joel Embiid has been covering for him in the last couple of series because And then when he got injured, it became so apparent because we need Ben Simmons to have that same level of intensity and aggression.
But
He
he
just
doesn't.
hasn't shown it.
But he doesn't. He just
And it's
doesn't have it.
it's like,
So,
look,
yeah, go on. Sorry.
my point was, look, even if they get through and beat, obviously, if they get through and beat Atlanta today, well, this morning, obviously
They
they've got
have
to
to
go and play
face a
Giannis.
fully fit
Yeah, they've got to play the Bucks, and I'm
Milwaukee
looking at
Bucks.
it, and it's like, that means the only way they win that series is if Ben Simmons is aggressive, attacks the Drew Holidays, attacks. I was like these, like because we've just seen what the Bucks can do to even KD. Like KD was aggressive.
100%. I bet you they wouldn't even put Drew Holiday on Ben Simmons.
Yeah,
It's worthless.
Michael
They'll put him on Seth Curry,
Yeah,
and they'll put Giannis on Joel, and they'll put Chris Middleton on Ben Simmons because Chris Middleton is not a great defender. He's an all right defender. He's a decent defender, but he's not a good one.
and the thing is, realistically, when you look at obviously players like Seth Curry,
They're not going to waste PJ Tucker. They're not going to waste Drew Holiday's defense. They're not going to waste Giannis on when they could be marking everyone else who actually do something.
But the thing is, realistically, when you're looking at someone like Seth Curry, you're looking at someone who you're asking, okay, look, okay, you want your best players to attract the attention of the best defenders, so then your role players can have these big games.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think the Bucks are even gonna like. I don't think they're gonna be happy for Ben Simmons to do they're gonna want to stop Joel and stop like Seth and maybe fucking Tobias Harris more than Ben, which it's gonna limit them, even if they get through Atlanta, which I don't think they would at this point.
No.
If I was putting money on it, I'd put it on Atlanta.
Yeah, I put money on Atlanta too. But the thing is, right? Okay, say Atlanta win, right? Or doesn't matter. Philadelphia. I think we're both in agreement that Philadelphia aren't winning this championship. They either get beaten this series or get beaten the next series. They ain't gonna go to the finals, right? Barring anything catastrophic, right? So, what do the Philadelphia 76ers do then?
I think at that point,
last summer, people were talking about splitting up Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons. And a lot of people were saying that they should keep Ben Simmons.
Yeah, so the thing is...
And in fact, Philly kept Ben Simmons instead of trading for James Harden.
Yeah. So,
which, I mean...
In hindsight, is the worst
looks in hindsight, yeah. But
by
now,
the way,
what do you do?
Considering
Ben... Yeah.
There's a joke going around that James Harden left Rockets to go to a super team and left in the same round he went out last year. And I was like, oh, you formed a super team to still go out. But yeah, the thing is, who did Philly go out to last year? I can't even remember.
They went out in the first round to Boston.
Okay. The thing is, so after last year's series...
No, sorry. No. They went in the first round to Toronto. I can't remember. Boston had Nets first round. 2020 NBA.
I'm doing the same thing. So yeah, they went out to Boston.
Oh, in the second round.
Yeah, no, first round. Brooklyn had Toronto.
Brooklyn had Toronto. Sorry, and then Toronto and Boston and
Boston. Cool. So yeah, the reason I asked that is because last year, obviously, they didn't achieve what they wanted to achieve, and a lot of the talk was obviously you got to trade one of them because Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid together don't work.
But then they thought, no, let's just a problem that we've been facing for a long time is the coach and also injuries. Yeah. So how about we'll finally get rid of the coach, which Jimmy Butler told us to do a long time ago. Just saying, and then and also, let's get fully fit. Let's get fully fit in a year that is probably the least likely for that to ever fucking happen. But let's get fully fit. Let's try it again. Let's run it back again. Come on.
But not only to do that, they added
trust the process.
They added Seth Curry. They added who else? Like they added
great.
They added
Doc
quite
Rivers.
decent. So Doc Rivers came in and added quite a decent core around Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid. And obviously, you're looking at a team.
And they got the first seed in the East. Joel Embiid was having an MVP season before he got injured.
To his injury, it was him versus Jokic and LeBron, and then he went down, then LeBron went down, and we were like, okay, cool. But a lot of the talk was always them two can't play together. They've gambled on a season where they've literally tried to play together, and obviously they've added pieces around them to make it easier. Seth Curry's a great shooter. Tobias Harris has obviously developed and was scoring them points. Like the squad has been there. I think if they lose this series, this is when they have to make a big decision on
who you're going to trade. And the answer is Ben Simmons. But do you trade him now?
Simmons is going.
Yeah, but the problem with this is his stock is the lowest it's ever been.
Yeah, I know he's loaded stock to.
I don't know. I don't know if they could trade for like a top 20, top 30 player, because if I don't know, I'd want to trade him for like a shot creator, someone who's aggressive, maybe like a Zach LaVine or something. If I'm the Chicago Bulls, I ain't trading Zach LaVine for Ben Simmons.
Yeah, the problem is I'm sure you can get teams
somehow.
I'm sure you can get teams that want to trade for Ben Simmons.
Oh, just throw in a pick and OKC will do it.
But what are you getting back for that? And that's the main thing there. Like I think
Washington Wizards could possibly do it. Possibly.
I mean,
they're pretty desperate.
Their current trade rumors are kind of interesting, I mean,
yeah.
I love about I love about trades is always the smallest thing that can trigger a headline, like LeBron and AD following Russell Westbrook's wife on Instagram. Everyone's like, "That's it, Russell's going to the Lakers. It's done." Like, okay, let's relax. I mean, I'm not against it. But I was like, let's just relax. But with Ben Simmons, I don't know. It's getting your trade back by value, like. I don't know who they trade for and go, okay, look, take Ben Simmons and give us
this free agency is going to be odd because it depends on what happens with the Clippers as well, because Kawhi is probably the most notable free agent right in this class.
Does he have an option?
There's not many others. He does have an option. That's the thing. So he might not even go into. He might not even decide to.
So he could not run it back. But then
he could just not.
Everyone else locked themselves up. Like Giannis was the big talking point, and then he signed the Superman.
Yeah. His deal. Everyone kind of locked themselves up. So it's pretty much trade.
George signed his deal. So at this point, it's going to be. I don't know. Like I'm looking around. Like I don't know where Ben Simmons really fits in. If he's in Philly, it's like okay. And I know that a lot of the teams are going to be looking to make a couple big moves. I know that the Lakers are going to want to make a move to get someone. I know that the Clippers are going to be just like looking at their position, looking where they are. Obviously, looking at Boston, they were clearly, trying to, resort their team out. But not many of the teams I'm looking at and they're going, okay, Ben Simmons would help you.
Yeah. I'll come down in a sec. I'll come down soon.
But yeah, I'm not looking at many teams where I'm like, okay, Ben Simmons. I'm not looking at many of these teams and I'm not looking at teams that are screaming out for a Ben Simmons.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so if you're Philly, it's like, if we are going to trade him,
he's a detriment.
Yeah, like, and the problem is like, if they'd done it before, obviously, like they were looking like Harden for fucking Simmons, and they were like, no chance. And now I'm looking back like, even though Harden was injured, I'm sure you probably look at it and go, at least with Harden, he wouldn't be. I don't know. It's just like for Philly, like everything they need is there. They just can't piece it together. Like with obviously the joke has always been trust the process, but it's there. Everything they need right now is there. If anything, like if you're looking at these teams on paper, like you're looking at the Bucks and Philly and going, it has to be one of you two to win this title. But right now, Philly don't look capable of getting out of this fucking round, let alone like obviously before Joel got injured, and obviously because what did they went 4-1 in their first series, and they were killing it. And it's like, hey, you look great, but the second Joel went down, that's when the emphasis and the onus went on to Ben, and that's when instantly we started to see what happens. Like it's not like obviously there are players who do things well, consistently, and then there are players that you need in big moments, and Ben Simmons constantly comes short in those moments.
Yep, he does. So that's why, unless Ben Simmons has a big game, it's going to be Philly are out in this round or the other
Chris,
one.
they threw it away a 29-point lead.
Yes, they did. And yeah, they did. Yes, they did. Doc Rivers, great, love him. All right. Yeah. We haven't spoke about the Suns and the well, we have, haven't we? Really, a little bit. We spoke about the injuries too.
There's not much to say. The Suns just whooped them boys.
Yeah, they did. They really did. Yeah.
The Suns whooped them boys, and they've got time to rest.
Yeah, they did enough that CP3 can contract COVID and only miss game 1 potentially.
Yeah, like the Suns whooped them boys, and then sat back and watched the Clippers go to war. Like,
which is dangerous because now they've had chance to rest.
Yeah.
In an injury-riddled season, which every other series went to a game 6 or 7.
Yeah.
It was like, yeah, every other series went to a game 6 or 7. Like, this is gonna be like Bucks versus whoever comes out of Atlanta. I don't see that lasting more than 5, if not a sweep. Clippers versus Suns. I think, you know what? If I was the Suns, I would have hoped for the Jazz because of Rudy Gobert, because he would have been destroyed. But you know, I still think the Suns have got this one because they're without Kawhi.
So,
Kawhi could always get injured.
Yeah, so Kawhi's obviously out.
CP3 can come back, and as long as he is asymptomatic, he should be fine and good to go.
Yeah, so you need to wait 10 days between whatever. But one of the things I think is important is, obviously for Suns, Cameron Payne has been a good.
Oh, he's been a good backup.
So,
there,
and obviously
he's not CP3.
He's not CP3, but we did see in the Lakers series that when CP3 was down, he was able to come in and facilitate. Obviously, he's never nowhere near CP3's level of efficiency and facilitator, but he's still someone who it's not a step. It's not like it's a step down, but obviously he's still a good player. Whereas with the Clippers, I'm looking at them and going, okay, Kawhi's out, which means your offense is going to run mainly through Paul George, and then obviously your other bits and hoping that those things work. And when I look at that, I'm like, Devin Booker, like, and there's enough for the Clippers there. There's enough for the Suns there to beat the Clippers. And I think then if they win the first game or win the first 2 and CP3 comes back, that's
a wrap. There is no way in hell CP3 is blowing a lead.
No, I think
CP. Oh boy, I really want the Suns to win just so I can get CP3 to have that championship, and also because before the playoffs started, Stephen A was saying how the Suns they didn't have the pedigree. They didn't have the experience to take on this championship. Like, they're not even going to get through the second round in the talk. And it was like ridiculous. And I was like, well, this year's kind of different because you need to be healthy and young and fit really helps. In my own mind, I was like, and like Stephen A was just not giving the Suns a chance. Now, if the Suns win, I'm going to be so happy.
I think for me, I felt sorry.
My first wish was the Nets getting kicked out. That has happened now. My second wish is a Suns championship. However, I am pretty happy regardless of who wins the championship.
Your job has been done. I think for me, I
want a Bucks versus Suns final.
That works.
I feel like that's what's going to happen.
Bucks versus Suns works for me, and whoever wins, I'm happy. But I think I did.
However, Kawhi Leonard exists.
He does.
And if the Clippers end up beating the Suns, I really think the Clippers could beat the Bucks.
Yeah,
because they have Kawhi.
Yeah,
because Kawhi is just that guy.
He is. But I think what we have to remember is that Kawhi is that guy, but also Kawhi's also not the type of guy to he's not the type of guy to push himself past, obviously, like returning from injury early, knowing it could fuck up potential, So it would really depend
Oh,
on the state of
100,
injury.
100%,
Like
100%.
we
But
one of his
I
big
feel
issues with
like,
the Spurs were that they felt he could have
yeah.
come back a lot earlier than he did, and he kept it because obviously he was protecting himself. Knowing that he's coming into a contract year, no one knows coming to free agency. He could go into free agency this off season.
It could be his
Player
last
option.
big deal because he's in his
This could be. That's
late,
what I'm thinking.
he's in his 30s, late 20s.
28, 27. He's between 25 and 29. So realistically, this is whatever deal he signs now. I'm obviously probably looking at quite a this is the last big secure one. So obviously you got to look at that. Obviously, but if he chooses to play and if they get through the Suns and they get to the final, Kawhi is one of the last players you want to play in that type of game because, like everyone says, he is a robot and man will drop 30 to 35 on you just consistently, which can be a pain. I don't know. I think I did feel bad for the Suns originally because obviously at first they did pull that it felt like they pulled a short straw at the Lakers in the first round, but then
like the defending champions.
Yeah, defending champions.
One of the best players in the league.
Yeah, defending champions.
A team that boasted arguably 2 top 5 players, if you're Max Kellerman. No one gave the Suns the chance.
No, not really.
And they did, especially after game 2? Was it game 2 or game?
They won. Phoenix won game 1, and then they lost game 2. And game 2 they lost really easily. Like the Lakers did kind of walk through them. And at that point, I was really feeling really sorry for them because like you've done enough to be the second seed, and normally your first series would be against a team you're favorable against. And then obviously they were 2-1 down, and then obviously it's a mix. It's one of them where it's a mixture of obviously they were. It was quite lucky that AD went down for them because that took away that. But also, they still have to play. Like, I mean, the Lakers were awful in that series. You can only
play who you play against.
The Lakers were awful in that series, but the Suns did a really good job of making sure that there was never a door open for LeBron to single-handedly take over.
Yeah, pretty much.
And I think so. When I saw that, I was like, okay, good. And then I saw them go to Denver, and I'm like, okay. And
the way they has some problems against them. They've got the MVP. They were in the Western Conference Finals last year. Despite the fact they're missing Jamal Murray, they still beat.
Well, no, obviously, I was looking at the fact that obviously they've got.
Who did they beat in their series before?
They beat
Memphis.
Trailblazers.
They beat Blazers, who had Dame Lillard, for God's sake. So you're like, okay.
Jamal Murray went down, but they picked up Aaron Gordon. Obviously, they had I was looking at their team.
Monte
I was like,
Morris. No.
Yeah,
sorry. Is it Monte Morris?
Monte Morris, Austin Rivers, etc. Like, obviously, I know they got Jamal McGee in there as well. Like, they had a lot of. So I was like, okay. But the way they played them, I'm like, okay, wow, no, this is that team. And obviously, when you look at the Phoenix story, if they were to win this title, you're looking at a team who went into the bubble.
A team that's never, ever won a title, by the way.
I know.
They've only had one finals appearance, and that was with Charles Barkley in 1992.
I know what you're looking at here is a team who last year struggled to make it to the playoff, like that playoff picture, went to the bubble, went undefeated in it.
They went undefeated in the bubble, 8-0.
Oh no, because they didn't make it to the play-ins. They went 8-0, but then didn't make it to the play-ins.
They still didn't make the play-ins.
Yeah, they went there, did what they had to do to try and make the play-ins, went at 8-0.
While they were down there, they created a culture with Woodson, and that enticed CP3. CP3 came and joined. And when you add CP3 to any team, it's going to get better.
They made that Chris Paul trade where they gave up Kelly Oubre and Ricky Rubio.
I don't know, something like that.
It was Kelly Oubre, Ricky Rubio, and then like others. And obviously then he got moved around. But so when you're looking at that, you're like, and then when you look at what Kelly Oubre did at Golden State, you're like, so they didn't lose anything there. So that means that some elite trade they've made there. They've got Chris Paul in and not lost really anything that's affected them. DeAndre Ayton's obviously grown into like obviously a good player for them. Devin Booker, and then you look at Chris Paul added to that as well. Like, it'd be a great story for them and a great what a turnaround for them to go from barely couldn't even make the play-in to we've won the whole title, and they just fucking fully deserved it the way they've been playing all season. Like, obviously, even when they were 1 and 2, there was always some questions of can they do it in the playoffs? Like I wasn't sure. I didn't think Utah and Phoenix would be able to do it. Utah have shown that they weren't able to.
I
Phoenix
never,
showed that they can.
yeah. It was one. They were one of the. There were two of the teams that was like, okay, they've made high seeds, but I don't see them being an actual threat. They're not a real threat.
No, I didn't see them.
This year's been different. It's like how I saw the Atlanta Hawks. It's like how I still see the Atlanta Hawks. Not
Yeah,
going to lie,
yeah. I'm still confused
but
on the
they're
Atlanta Hawks. I'm
potentially
not gonna
making
lie.
the Eastern Conference Finals. Like,
Exactly. So like it's and obviously this year is different, and obviously I know it's gonna be one of them years where like it might look a little odd, and obviously when you see the season, you might be like like okay, when you're looking at how many players are out, like this year is different, but I'm really impressed with the way they come to do it, and obviously for them this would be amazing. This is a real capital story. I think one of the best things about the playoff is the fact that we're kind of left with 5 teams who either haven't won one or haven't won one in ages. Like we're left with Atlanta, Philly,
the earliest
Milwaukee,
any team
Clippers.
has won a championship, right? First of all, the Suns and Clippers haven't won a championship ever. The Bucks haven't won one since '71, and the
Then you've got
Hawks
Philly and
haven't
Atlanta.
won one since the '50s.
Yeah.
And they were with the St. Louis Hawks back then. I think I want to hold on. Milwaukee Bucks championship. They had Lou Alcindor. It was 71. They had theirs, and then the Hawks NBA championships. Their last one was in 19. Oh, they only had one. It was 1958. Literally, so 50 years. 50 years ago was the last time any of these teams won a championship. The team from the West has never won a championship. The
Yeah.
team
So
from
I
the
think
East have last time at least 50 years. If what's his face, if Atlanta end up going through, but Philly have won one in the 80s. Let me check the Philadelphia 76ers last championship was in 83. So they're more modern,
yeah.
if you can call that modern.
So we're looking at. I
38
think,
years.
and I think one of the things is like obviously I'm interested to see how that plays out and how obviously like because you're not just at this point you're not just playing for a title, you are playing for. This is history. We saw it with Cleveland when they won theirs. Like it's a whole like this is gonna be which whoever wins is gonna have a massive celebration. It's gonna mean a lot more to their fans because they've gone 50 years without one or never had one. Like we're seeing the Clippers celebrating to get
Some
to
of
the
these
conference final.
people's lifetime, their team hasn't won a championship.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I say some, most.
Yeah,
What am I saying? Most of these people,
most yeah.
if not
Which means that
all.
it's gonna be interesting for the crowds. It's gonna be interesting to see the culture. That I just want to see that because I think like obviously we do tend to see a lot of the same teams. Kind of
Well,
come through. And then
lately, I mean, what was it? This is like the first time in the last 30 or something years that either the Lakers, the Spurs, the Miami Heat, or the Golden State Warriors haven't been in a championship.
it's gonna be the first. It's the first. What is it? It's the first. It's one of the first finals where there hasn't been one of like 5 players in it. So that's gonna be like
LeBron, Steph Curry,
yeah.
LeBron, Steph Curry.
One sec, I'm gonna find this. It's
That one alone, LeBron and Steph Curry, that one
yeah.
alone is dating back to 2010.
The first NBA Finals without LeBron, Curry, Kobe, Duncan, or Shaq since 1998.
Jesus
Which means
Christ.
in the time in almost the time I've been alive, there hasn't been a NBA Finals without LeBron, Curry, Kobe, Duncan, or Shaq. And when you think about it like that, it's like, oh my god, this
5
is
players.
20,
5.
23 years, 5 players have been
Wait,
consistently
hold on.
there.
Heat,
May not have always won it, but it's
Lakers, Spurs, Warriors, stat. No, I can't find it. It won't tell me.
Wait, what?
That's first NBA finals in with without Heat, Lakers, Spurs, Warriors. I can't quite remember. No, I can't remember. But finalists.
Now let's have a look. NBA finals list.
Yeah, we can look at it. So we can manually do this.
Okay, so what we've got here: 2019-20 Lakers Heat, 2018-19 Toronto Golden State, 2017-18 Golden State Cleveland, 2016-17 Golden State Cleveland, 2015-16 Golden State Cleveland, 2014-15 Golden State Cleveland, 13-14 Spurs Heat, 2012-13 Spurs Heat, 11-12 Thunder Heat,
Lakers,
10-11 Mavs Heat.
Lakers.
2011-10 map. Like,
it would have been since 1998 because it's got the Utah Jazz and the Chicago Bulls too.
Yeah,
so it's the same stat.
Yeah, Mavs Heat. I'm looking at like Lakers Celtics, Lakers Magic, Lakers Celtics, Spurs Cavs, Heat Mavs, Spurs Pistons, Lakers Spurs, New Jersey Nets, Lakers New Jersey Nets, Lakers Philly, Lakers Pacers.
You know what's interesting as well? The most frequent finals matchup is Boston versus Lakers. But Celtics have beaten that. They've played together 12 times, but Celtics have beaten them 9-3.
Wow.
Yeah. Lakers have more championships, but when it comes down to it, when they face each other, Celtics got them beat.
It's literally, when you're looking at games without those teams in it, it just goes back to Jordan. Like,
pretty much, yeah. Pretty much. Yeah. And then the next lot is 6, and that also includes the LA Lakers, but it's LA and Philly. And then the 5th, and then the next one is also LA, but it's LA and New York, oddly enough.
The New York Nets. New York Nets.
And then it's Atlanta and Boston because they played in the West. Atlanta did because when they were the St. Louis Hawks. But yeah. Okay. I think that's pretty much it. Now we're talking about shit that doesn't even.
Yeah. I'm just gonna say that, like, I think one of the things that makes me laugh is I don't think I'm glad we are out of the the Golden State Cleveland run, because that was 4 years of just like, I'm glad 4 straight years. We had one of the greatest comeback in finals history, and also one team getting J.R. Smith. I'm glad we're out of that now, and whichever team we have now is going to be a new matchup, new team.
It's going to be a whole new matchup. It's going to be a whole new team. The Clippers haven't even ever gotten this far before. The Suns have only made one finals appearance. Milwaukee haven't made a finals appearance since, I think, their championship. The Hawks, fuck knows. But yeah, that's it. Yeah, it's gonna be a new one, and I'm excited for it. Whatever it is, it's gonna be great, and I'm glad it's not the Brooklyn Nets.
See, I don't know what to do anymore. I was backing Philly, and now I don't want to.
I don't even want to. I want to back the Suns, but my heart says Suns. My head says Bucks.
Yeah, I've clowned the Bucks too much this season, so
I told Richard when he beat the Miami Heat that they're my favorite. I 100% told him that they're my favorite then.
Yeah. Good thing. I've clowned the Heat. I've clowned the Bucks so much. I've clowned the Bucks so much now. I kind of want them to win it.
I've wanted to have Richard back on here, but I've been waiting when Milwaukee actually either win the championship or finish or lose.
So it's either gonna be the Bucks celebration or the.
Because I remember how much I clowned him for beating his team last year and then making the NBA Finals, and then if he beats their team this year and then wins the championship, it's very fair that I bring him back on and he does the same
full
thing.
Circle, yeah,
a full circle. Yeah, I accept the slander if that happens. I'll take it like a man.
Well.
Yeah. So if you're listening, Richard, we're gonna invite you at some point, whether you win or lose.
And this time, I won't be able to slander him if they win.
I'm gonna. Oh no! I'll slander him for his coach because his coach is shit. His coach will be his downfall. That's what it is.
If they lose, it's going to be because of their coach.
It's because of Mike Budenholzer if they lose. If they end up losing in the NBA Finals, Mike Budenholzer's gone. By the way.
And if they dare lose to Philly, I'll cry.
If Philly get through, watch them lose to Atlanta now.
Probably.
Watch Atlanta win the whole thing right now.
Okay, on that note, we're done. We're done.
Right. Hold on, no, David. Wait. Right. If Atlanta win, we take 5 shots each on stream.
Okay, cool.
Deal. Okay, we'll take a time out now.
I'll take 5 back to back, fam.
No, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, I'm done.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's go.
I beg Philly knock him out today.
Is it today?
It's 1 o'clock.
Okay, cool. All right, cool. I'll probably be watching that then.
Well,
all right, we'll take a time out now.
See ya.
Deuces.